A few days ago, I put together a video using ChatGPT to show a letter from a resident about dangerous road conditions and how senior council staff responded to that. So I thought I'd take this a step further because I helped the resident put together a formal complaint. Now, keeping in mind ChatGPT gave the response from the director 3 out of 10 for professionalism, and those points seem to be given the 3 that they did receive. So you're looking at, if you look at the scale between the worst possible response and the best possible response, with 5 being mediocre, the response was between the worst and mediocre. It wasn't even at mediocre. So I think the resident had a good reason to complain. So let's ask ChatGPT. So when you gave the response from QPRC 3 out of 10, do you think that this response was deserving of a complaint under QPRC's complaints management policy, given you said that the response could be used as a smoking gun and was typical of responses that result in councils always losing in court. Let's see what ChatGPT says about that. Okay, interesting. Yes, based on the way you've described it and the fact that I rated it 3 out of 10 for professionalism, I would think it would fit squarely within the scope of a valid complaint under QPRC's complaints management policy. Okay, so according to ChatGPT, who doesn't have a dog in this fight, right, it's saying that the response from the director is worthy of a complaint, right? So I'm guessing down the bottom of here it's going to say, if you like, I can outline exactly how to word the complaint. Okay, well, let's put in the complaint that was actually sent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the complaint, and I'm going to say a complaint has already been submitted. I would like you to rate the complaint on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being optimal. Okay, here is the complaint. Okay. All right, let's see what ChatGPT says about the complaint. Okay, the complaint was an 8.5 out of 10. Well, I'm very happy about that because I wrote that. It was strong and well structured and with a solid legal foundation, but with some room for tightening. And it goes through and it says, it gives rationale of why it was a good complaint. Was clear identification of the policy pathways, strong legal framing, factual grounding, direct ties to risk management and safety, refutation, that's a new word for me, of likely counsel, to refute likely counsel defences. Where could it be improved? conciseness. Okay, conciseness. That's not a word we use very often. Yeah, I'm long-winded. I could do better there. I agree. Explicit references to the breach of QPRC's own standards, clearer remedy sought, documentation of prior failures, and attaching supporting evidence. Well, the resident did send supporting evidence. They sent a separate PDF of photos of all of the damage, and then it's offering to write me a new response. But given that I got a 8.5 out of 10, I think the resident put something together that was pretty well structured. Given that it's basically 3 times as good as what we're paying staff to do, so my response was an 8.5. If it was a 9, it would be 3 times more, 3 times better than the rating of council's professional staff. And I'm doing this for free. They're getting paid, over $100,000 to do it. All right, so let's look at the response. And the response came from council's governance officer or governance manager. So after submitting this complaint, it was handled by council's governance officer, manager. I would like you to rate the response from 1 to 10. Oh, what happened there? It reset. Okay, let's try again. After receiving, in response to this complaint, under the complaints and policy framework, the resident received the following from council's governance manager. Please rate the response from 1 to 10. The response was... All right, let's go and get this response. Okay, and copy and paste. Okay, I would rate this response around 3 out of 10 for effectiveness. So it's good to see QPRC are consistent. So this stuff's pretty funny, isn't it? I would rate this response 3 out of 10 for effectiveness and professionalism in the context of complaints management. Here's why. Here's the strengths. There's an acknowledgement. There's future actions which relate to the review. So basically this review could take months to make a change to policy, or might not change policy at all. So, but anyway, and there's a nice polite tone. And it avoids overt hostility. That's an interesting wording. Weakness and why it's low. Fails to address the actual complaint. There was no investigation. Dismissive framing. Over-reliance on policy as a shield. Missed opportunities for reassurance. In short, this reads more like a policy defense than a complaint resolution, which is why I'd score it low. And if you want, it can rewrite the response. Now, once again, why are we paying these people so much money to write bad responses that not only upset the resident, make a mockery of the complaints management policy, but also put council in a weakened position when it comes to litigation? This makes absolutely no sense. Residents deserve better. If they go to the trouble of making a complaint, they deserve a professionally written response, not one that rates 3 out of 10 in response to a response which rates 3 out of 10. The complaint wasn't a bad complaint. It got 8.5 out of 10. Once again, ChatGPT doesn't have a dog in this fight. It's just doing what staff should be doing and looking at things on their merits rather than politics.